Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast, back with another dose of your weekly dose of gaming.
Back
I said
with your
dose twice.
Of your weekly dose of dosage.
Oh, I got excited and said the same word twice. We're back by lack of popular demand as normal. And this week we're talking about the hot topic of buying games and never playing them.
Yes.
Really, this is just a chance. It's like a counselling session. It's a chance for us to get a problem out in the open to see if you share this problem with us or if it's just me and Andy that have this really bad problem. Buying games and never playing them.
Yeah. Something I've suffered with for a long time.
Firstly, this is my chance to tease you and pretend that I don't do it.
Okay.
When really, just last night, I picked up Cyberpunk.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Still sealed.
Yes, mine is too.
And I was like, I could install it. And I looked at my PS5 and went, I don't know if I can be bothered actually. So I put it back down.
Yeah.
And I didn't play it.
Mine's still sealed on the shelf.
Yeah. Apparently it's really good now.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah, maybe.
I think one of the commenters on the YouTube channel actually said you should really give it a try. It's actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when it came out and it sucked, we were like, well, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
And then we waited. Never bothered.
That's too late. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No, me either. I want to play it as well. I really want to play it, but I just haven't bothered.
Another one that I've got recently. I'm just jumping straight into a list of games I bought and not played.
Just get it up. Get the PDF up. Get Excel up. That's it.
Okay, that's another sad admission. I actually do have an Excel sheet with all the games.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Sonic, what was it called? Frontiers?
Yeah. Did you buy that?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't even know that you had it.
I bought it.
That's so good.
I know. I bought it PS5 version as well.
Amazing.
I don't know why I bought the PS5 version. It's pointless. But that's another podcast episode that we're going to do in the future.
True.
Yes, it is a problem. And I can't decide if it's a problem that because I'm just like a playing collector, so I like to dabble in everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if it's a problem that there are just too many games being released.
Yeah, I think there's just too many games that we want to play and we just don't have time for.
Yeah.
So we're like, we'll add that to our collection because one day I'll play it. And then that never happens.
And once
then
the
something
enthusiasm wears out, then they release Zelda.
Something else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's not so much of a problem of buying a game and never ever playing it. That is a problem, but a different one.
That's still part of the problem, isn't it? Like we were saying with Cyberpunk.
Yes.
And like half of my 3DS collection is still sealed.
Savage, man. I think the other thing is starting to play a game and never finishing it, which is actually what I wanted to tease you about.
Right, okay, yeah.
Did you ever finish Bayonetta 3?
No.
But yet, before Bayonetta 3 came out, you were like, I'm going to play through the trilogy.
Yeah. And
so I'm going to start with 1.
I did. I completed 1.
You completed 1?
I completed 2 on stream.
Yeah. Well, I watched
the whole thing.
It was great. It was good fun.
Started streaming Bayonetta 3 when it launched.
Yeah.
And I got probably halfway through it and then stopped playing it.
And then you tried to start playing it, but because you were like halfway through, it's impossible. Isn't it? All
that was Bayonetta 2.
Oh, was it?
That was back before.
Okay.
So I started trying to play Bayonetta 2 from my previous save and I didn't know what was happening. So then I just started the game over on stream and we played through the whole thing again.
Yeah.
And then I got 3 and just played halfway and that was it. Same with, remember Astral Chain that I was streaming like a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Halfway through, stopped playing it. Bought Bayonetta, Cereza's and the Lost Demon, still sealed.
Never touched it.
That came out like a couple of months ago, whenever it was.
That didn't really get any attention, did it?
No, because it was like the spin-off,
Yeah,
but it looks really cool. I like the look of it. It does look
really cool. And it's such a big franchise. You go, this is going to do really well. Yeah. And it just kind of, it wasn't like it flopped. It was just like, there was nothing.
Yeah, people just didn't really care, I think, because it wasn't your proper beat-em-up Bayonetta game. It was a weird 2 Joy-Con thing where you control one character with one and one with the other.
Yeah.
And I think people just didn't care for the type of gameplay it was. I'm not sure, really. But I bought it. I pre-ordered it. And I got it, and I haven't played it. Same with Hogwarts Legacy. I've dumped probably about 70 hours into that. And I'm not even halfway through the main storyline. I haven't played it in 2 months.
Is the other problem, you think, of not finishing games primarily because you're always trying to 100% them?
Maybe. Yeah.
Like I'm always trying to, I spend too long worrying about missing something cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes way back to like early RPG days for me of I think back to I always go back to Final Fantasy VII, don't I? I always find a way of talking about it.
It's like me with Metroid.
Yeah. I think back to Final Fantasy VII. And the first time I completed it, and then I saw, I don't know how I would have seen it. This is a weird thing because it's before YouTube.
Okay.
But people talking about the ultimate weapon and stuff, or these other summons that you can get that I just missed entirely.
Yep.
Go, there's some really cool stuff you can get, and I never got it.
Yes.
So then you have this anxiety.
I need to find it. Yeah, exactly.
Find these things.
Yep.
So you spend forever searching every corridor. So what should be a 20-hour game turns into an 80-hour game.
Easy. Yeah. And I'm the same. And I think that's part of the problem. If I just rushed through the storyline and didn't care, I'd probably end up completing the games. Because I give them a chance. Not like I play half an hour and stop. Play for hours, at least 10 hours. And then sometimes it just gets thrown by the wayside. But like I said with Hogwarts, Christina and I played that almost every single night. She was playing it on PS5, I was playing it on Steam Deck, and we sunk easily 70 hours. Yeah. And we haven't played it since. And we're not even halfway through the game. We've really enjoyed it.
The other thing that I tend to do is if I'm determined to finish a game, and I think the last one I was determined to finish was Crisis Core.
Yeah.
Is I'll do the 100% mentality for about half the game.
And then give up.
And then I'll sprint to the end.
Yeah.
So I'm probably good enough to get to the end now. And I definitely did that in that game.
Yes.
Just sprint at the end and then miss out loads of stuff anyway. So actually the whole point was pointless.
Yeah, no, I get you. I do get you. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because
how many games that you own physical copies of have you never played? Do you, as an estimate?
It's quite large.
In the hundreds?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I can't even think. I've never played at all. I'd say probably 50% of my collection, maybe more.
Yeah.
Maybe 60% of my collection is just still sealed, or I've unsealed it and just left it on the shelf.
Just for a video, for views.
Yeah, just check this out.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to a conversation we had about the PlayStation Q Lite or whatever it is, the handheld.
Yes.
We're talking about would we give up physical games?
Yeah.
Because we've always been diehard physical collectors. And if that console offered enough, then I would give up a majority of my PlayStation collection. I think I'm ready. Yeah. Because in truth, I don't touch them.
Yes.
They just look cool.
They just look cool on the shelf, and that's my problem
I enjoyed collecting and over years buying them. I don't know if I'd be that sad to see the majority of them go now. Yeah. Now, because I wasn't a pristine collector. I wasn't looking for sealed copies of everything or non-platinum versions.
Yeah, no, I don't get it graded and stuff. It's just buy it to eventually play it.
Yeah, I was a playing collector was the idea. And if I'm honest, I don't play them.
No, and that's the same with me. I bought so many old games. Remember, I went through that thing of buying the 3DS stuff as well, and still hardly played any of them. I've got a lot of 3DS games that I've played, but there's still so many that are sealed, and it's just And the funny thing for me was when I got the Steam Deck, then I realized how many games I've got on there.
Yeah.
And then I realized how many I've never played. And I've had my Steam account since 2005.
Same thing.
And I've got 300 plus games on there, and I've probably played 20 of them. Maybe a bit more than that.
Yeah.
But still, there's still a lot of games on there that are just never played.
But in truth, how many epic games can you get through? I'm not talking about casual pick up and plays, the Mario Kart style games.
Yeah, I mean, proper storyline.
Yeah. How many of those can you play in a year?
Exactly.
Realistically.
Yeah. Well, some people do. I mean, some people make it their thing to properly play through games, but other stuff comes up for me, and that's then when I forget. So with Hogwarts, we were fully invested in that, playing it every night. Something came up, whether it's family birthdays, because in something like February or March or something, there's back-to-back weekends for weeks, 4 weeks long. There's all these family events. We just don't get time. And, after work and stuff, we end up just chilling out, maybe watching a film if we're too tired.
I was just going to get to that. So once I've finished an epic game experience, I get this like moment of like hangover, and I have to like desensitize from it for a little bit. I'm like, right, I'm just going to put Netflix on for a little bit, you know, a couple of evenings of just not playing the games.
It turns to way longer than you anticipate.
You get out of the habit, and that's been. I go back to Cyberpunk because it's sat right next to my place. Literally, it's like my PlayStation's here, and it's sat next to it the whole time.
We're gonna put a sticky note on it saying "Play me."
Yeah, and I just don't touch it.
Yeah,
but I have this kind of like, oh, I'm gonna have to get into this.
Yeah. There's that kind of like anxiety of like, oh man, I need to sink like 100 hours into this. So you almost put it off because you don't want to start that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas other games you can just not think about it on and then find yourself hundreds of hours in.
Yeah.
But when you know that you're going to have to commit time, sometimes you don't.
When you start playing a new, and I'm thinking about Epic Games in particular, not the company.
Yeah.
It's not Fortnite.
No,
like big games, Cyberpunk style size.
Yeah.
Do you know when you start playing it, I'm gonna finish this?
No.
You have no idea.
No.
It's interesting, isn't it?
The only one I knew, like in recent years, that I can fully say that I said to myself, I'm going to complete this, and I did, was Dread, Metroid 5 Dread.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I put that in, I went, I'm not playing anything else until I've completed it. And I did. And I completed it pretty quick, to be fair. But, you know,
I didn't.
But I was like, I'm 100% in this. And I did it like way sooner than I anticipated.
The mad thing I found with Dread was that it felt like I just wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
And then it didn't help that I then played it. I think we streamed it or something with you.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And
I think I'd completed
You'd already completed by then. So you were really good. And it was like, it felt like this is very apparent that I'm not very good at this game.
Because every time you got stuck on something, I was like, oh, I'll get you past this bit or something.
Yeah,
you were like, how are you doing that? I'm like shine sparking. Like,
timing these jumps.
Yeah,
That's like frame perfect. I don't understand.
I spent a long time
trying
to do that.
I think, I don't know, for me, I think I know when I'm going to like, I'm going to finish this.
Yeah.
But it's not a feeling I get very regularly.
Yeah. Well, even with the new Zelda game, you know, like Tears of the Kingdom, I said before that I've still not completed Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And you were like, what? And I was like, because I spent hundreds of hours just running around, like
collecting everything.
Yeah, and I did like half of the Divine Beasts and then put the game down, did something else, maybe a different game came out, and I went, I'll try this. And then that was it. Never went back to it.
Yeah, so it's a problem. I'm curious, to you listeners and viewers, do you share this problem?
I'm sure there is a lot.
Is there a lot of games you get and just never play or never complete?
There's going to be a lot of people. I see a lot of memes in like Steam Deck groups and stuff of, you know, the kid that's not treading water correctly, you know, and then there's the mum with the other baby holding it up, like forgetting about that kid. And people have just plastered like all the game titles, like, and then they've put new game, and then the kid that's in the water struggling is all the other games they've bought that they're just not playing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it.
That's good.
I think a lot of people have the same thing.
Digital games definitely doesn't help with that. And I think about like your Steam library.
Exactly. Because they're easy
Everyone
to forget
with a
about.
Steam library's like, I'll buy it because it's on sale for £5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you forget.
And then 200 games later, you're still playing Fortnite.
Exactly. At least with physical games. Oh no. At least with physical games, you see them on the shelf and you get guilt tripped. You go, oh,
yeah,
still haven't played that one. But when it's on like a digital list on like Steam Deck, I don't even see them.
Yeah,
I look at my installed games. I don't look at the ones collecting dust in the other shelf.
So true. They do guilt me into it. I just don't go into that room anymore.
Just lock it out.
Lock the door. No.
No, I can't see you. You need to go in there. You just blindfold yourself for whatever it is.
It makes me feel bad whenever I see
Yeah, me too.
And because we haven't set up the games studio here yet.
Yeah.
It's a problem with the roof. It's a long story.
Yes.
When I go in there now, I'm like, oh man, I really want to set this up. I really want to play these games. But I think in truth, and I mean this sincerely, if that PlayStation handheld is all the things that we hope for, or even if it's half of it, if there is a Steam library style system for it, I think I'll probably get rid of most of them.
Totally. And I'd be the same, to be fair, with like, if the Switch 2, for example, came out and there was a much greater backlog of retro games on there, or like games that I own, and I knew that I could buy them or whatever and they'd be on there, I'd probably end up selling my physicals.
Yeah.
And just having them on there, even though that probably won't happen because it's Nintendo. But, you know, I'd be happy to do that, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get rid of my Switch games. But like the older stuff I could, I reckon.
I guess the question you have to answer is, are you ever going to collect them long enough for them to be like rare?
Yeah, I get it.
Do you know what I mean?
For me, it's like just thinking, because it's on the top of my head with the 3DS stuff. I love the 3DS so much, and it's Nintendo's last true handheld.
Yeah.
And every time I play it, I get this overwhelming joy because it is powerful, even though it's tiny.
Yeah.
And every time I play something on it, I'm like, this is so cool. And then I've got all these games, which are still sealed. And I'm like, I don't want to sell them because I can't play them anywhere else. Nintendo will never do another like dual screen. Well, they might do, but you know,
unlikely.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like if I got rid of them, I'd have to go down like emulation route, and I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't emulate.
Bother.
No, I'd much rather play on my pristine handhelds I've kept. You know.
Yeah.
And so when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'll sell those. And then I look at it and go, no, I won't. No, I won't. And then sometimes I'll pick one out and play it for 10 minutes. Go, I love that. And then I put it down and don't play it for 6 months. I'm like, you know, it's just, Don't know.
So buying games and never playing them.
It's something I think we suffer with. And I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to go on. Even if you sold all your games with this, let's just pretend the Sony Q-Lite is what we were talking about in our dedicated podcast, not necessarily what it was rumored to be, but what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And you sold all your games and they were all on there.
Yeah.
And you bought all the new games that you wanted from that. It would probably be the same. You would have just turned into my Steam Deck problem. We've just got a huge library.
Yeah, totally.
You're just not getting guilt tripped every time you go in the room.
Yeah.
You just don't look at that tab of unplayed games.
We have to sort it. It's like hidden.
Yeah. Hide games. I've only got one game. It's fine. I'll buy a new one.
So I know it's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll still go into our local game stores.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll look for like the cheap PS4 games and go, oh, £5. I've never played that before. That looks fun. And I end up buying like 4 or 5 games. I'm a sucker for it.
I know. I think it's the physical aspect of doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that kind of searching. Do you know what I mean? It's like we were saying in games where we like searching through stuff.
This is getting psychologically
but
deep.
it is though. It's like the real life like side quest. Do you know what I mean? Of I need to find these hidden gems. You know,
the fact that you're calling it a real life side quest and we're talking about a video game problem tells me everything.
But it is though, isn't it? Really, I think that's why we do that in games.
It really is.
I think it is though.
This is like leveling up, man.
Yeah. But I really think that's it. I think it's the same issue with us spending too long looking down corridors we shouldn't be, instead of focusing on the real thing.
Yeah.
And I think we spend too long trying to collect games and finding deals and finding hidden gems that we never play. We should just be doing the main quest on the new games that we really want to play. You know?
This is how bad I am for the side quests. I go back to Crisis Core again.
Yeah.
It's fresh in my mind. So you know it quite well. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the missions, they're basically, it's like a dungeon sequence. So you get this like mini map and there's these corridors that you can go down and then there's objectives inside these dungeons. And as you walk through these corridors of the dungeon or the mission, fights will spawn.
Yes.
I figured out really quickly that if you touch the wall of the corridor the whole time, fights don't spawn.
Oh, wow.
So the spawning trigger happens in like
a certain area.
Certain squares, as it were, in the corridor. Yeah. So just stay touching the wall. But that meant that exploring the dungeons took twice as long.
Because you're just going around the outside of the whole thing, yeah. See, when I was playing it, spoiler alert, I probably did about 15 hours and I haven't played it since.
It's a good one to complete.
I was just running headfirst into every battle and just killing them all until everyone had despawned, essentially, and then I'd run around and search. Do you know what I mean? So I'd clear the area first, leave the last boss of that bit, and just don't go near it, and then come back and then like wander around just to see what I could find. But yeah, I still haven't completed.
So that's the lengths I went to in order to do the side quests.
I love it.
So it made it like, it must have been like 3 times as long.
Easy. Yeah, easy. Because some of those areas are quite big.
Yeah.
Even though it's still linear, like there's some of those zones are quite big.
Yeah. You've got to complete that game.
I know. I want to. And the funny thing is off the back of that, I bought Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is still sealed.
Oh.
So because you've been talking about Final Fantasy VII for ages and how good the remake is.
Yeah.
Got Crisis Core because I loved the idea of that.
Yeah.
And I remember having it on PSP, but don't really remember the game very well. Started playing it. I was like, I love this old school linear experience. Really got into it. Played it a good like 10, 15 hours. I was like, this is brilliant. And Christina was loving it. And I said, let's buy Final Fantasy VII Remake because I know this will lead really nicely into that. And we were both really excited. Bought Final Fantasy VII Remake. Something else came out, put it down, and I haven't played it since. But I want to complete it. I want to.
Yeah.
Just might take 10 years.
Well, you've got until December to complete it because that's when Chapter 2 comes out for the remake.
Yeah, but that's 2 games I've got to complete.
And the storylines intertwine of all 3. So you kind of...
But I've just started Tears of the Kingdom. And
you'll complete that by December.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. It's been 6 years and I haven't completed Breath of the Wild.
There's nothing else coming out in between now and then.
There's so many games.
There is so many games. So many games. We talked about them in another episode.
Yes, we did.
There's so many games.
So many games. But yeah, I want to get better at that. Like I want to get a game and just complete it.
Do you know what? I think it's just being a bit more grown up about it. And not just buying everything.
Yes, true. Yeah, true.
But I don't think that'll ever stop.
I don't think it will stop. I think I'll always be the same because I'm like, that looks amazing.
And you know what part of the problem is like, since we started working together,
yes,
egg each other on a bit.
Yeah, we make each other worse.
Yeah. Like you'll text me going, AJ, on the Nintendo store right now.
Yeah.
There's an amiibo you need.
Yeah,
is there?
Yeah. But I don't collect amiibos. You do now.
It's a Final Fantasy one. You want it?
Yeah, you bought it.
I did. I don't even know why I did.
Sephiroth.
It's
You had to have
Sephiroth.
it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, we definitely egg each other on. And especially when it's something new and it looks amazing. We're like, oh my God, this game looks crazy. Like, we both buy it and one of us won't play it and the other will. And then be like, yeah, you've got to play it. Yeah.
No, I totally will.
And then like a week later, you're like, look at this new game.
You should definitely complete it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
It's just going to go on forever.
Even with digital games, the problem will just move.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
It has for me. Even with the Steam Deck, I'm like jumping through stuff.
Yeah.
I even bought a game. It's funny because I completed this one.
Okay.
The Ascent?
Yeah.
That was bought on PS5.
I didn't complete it.
Me and Christina, start to finish, completed it.
It's a great game.
Loved it. I liked it so much. I bought it again.
I've been tempted.
On Steam Deck.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to buy the physical collector's edition that came out.
Yeah, no, I bought it digitally on PS5 just because it was on offer. And then I bought it again on Steam Deck recently, played about an hour and went, this is amazing on Steam Deck. And I haven't played it since, and that was about a month ago. I
don't know. I didn't get that far into it. I was really enjoying it.
Such a good game.
But it's hard.
It's very hard.
On your own, it's really hard.
It's hard on your own.
So I got stuck on one bit and I was like, to be fair, I say stuck. It was the first time I'd actually died. Like first time I'd struggled.
So you rage quit.
Yeah. So threw my controller out the window and that's it. I'm done.
It is difficult though. Like it was easier for us because we were co-op in it.
Yeah.
So, but it's still hard. We got wiped multiple times in that game. Like some areas are hard. I can't remember if there's difficulty settings when you launch the game, but some of it's hard. It is hard. But it was really fun. So there's games that I own that I really want to complete that I don't complete, but there's games I've completed that I'll buy again and then start playing for no reason.
Well, The Ascent was a great example.
Yeah.
Because it was only digital at first. It was digital only.
Yes.
So I bought it on a PlayStation Store.
Yeah, right. That's why I got it then.
And stopped playing it. And then I went into the local game store and then they had the collector's edition on the top shelf there looking all shiny. And I was like, I love that game as well. And look, it's only 60 quid.
Yeah.
I took it off and I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I haven't even completed it.
Yeah. I already own it.
Yeah, why am I buying it again?
Exactly. Yeah.
I stopped myself.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good of me.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
I'm making progress.
I bet you bought something else instead, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Well,
Well, if you share our problem, let us know. If you think we're just weird, let us know.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
If you got to the deep end with us, make sure you rate this podcast wherever you found it.
Do it.
It really massively helps us out. We really do appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, you know what to do. There's buttons below, subscribe and like and all that stuff. And before you go anywhere else, why don't you click here and watch one of our other episodes of this podcast? Or you can click down here and watch Andy talk about something gaming.
That he's not completed.
Probably a game he's not completed. So until the next time, we'll see you next time.
Bye.